Hey, how's it going? Please look at my signs before I get started. Okay, so I um, have some notes. I don't know why all of a sudden I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, wow. All right. So I started writing something and I had the YouTube machine going, and it started sort of corresponding with what I was saying, so I interrupted what I was writing, and it became about what they were saying, but it turned out that it was kind of a part of what I was going to be saying anyway, so it's disjointed, it came out disjointed, I think. So I had just seen a read news report that was talking about changes to the hi. What do you? Oh, that's my leg. I had just seen a news report about changes to the X platform, and my ears perked up. I was like, the change is in the way that you may or may not reply to something the founder of the platform has said, because apparently he's finding out that a lot of people online don't like him or don't like what he's saying or doing, or whatever it is. Everyone has their own experience. I can't speak for all of them. But the change was you can only talk to him if you're going to say something nice, basically, and if you want to say more or speak to him personally, you got to pay more, and you're already supposed to be paying a subscription. Or like before I left, I wasn't going to pay for it. So I wasn't paying for it, and I had no plan to. But other changes to the platform are why I left. But I think that's hilarious that you can't talk to me unless you say something nice. And I just am wondering how he's going to both do all of the other stuff he's supposed to be doing while simultaneously keeping an eye on the people that are not paying him, because I know he won't be able to leave it alone. Like, he's not normal that way. Like, he's not going to be able to just block them out, and if he hasn't eradicated them from the platform, it's always going to be there in his little mind, like a little chigger nibbling away at his anxiety, or making him anxious at the thought of, what are they saying about me? Oh my God. Sorry, I think it's funny. I'm allowed. So anyway, here is what I had written. The replies. The suit scraps for sale, like it's bits of shroud. I'm talking about Trump suits. Whoa. Uh-oh. Oh, mamas to the rescue. Fox Image Enhancer campaign? Filming people outside of the Tesla vehicle. All of it is like, it wants to force people outside of, it all wants to force things on you. Like ideas that are appropriated from other places, like with the suit scraps, like I said, like they're selling it like it's a piece of shroud, like Shroud of Turin type shroud. You know what I mean? Like a religious, what do you call those things? Little religious tokens that you can buy. That's not the name. Tokens not the name. There is a name for them though. Little items that you can buy and carry around, like a rabbit's foot sort of situation. And I have mixed feelings about the religious sale of those things. And so Trump selling bits of his suit as if he were the other. I guess what I'm trying to say is that's a brain scrambler on purpose. I feel like it's on purpose. Although I wonder, you know, I don't want to like enter into that quagmire any further. It's a real tangle in there. So anyway, the image enhancer campaign and the mamas. Well, I was thinking about how Pete Hegseth's mom had to go on Fox News and basically recant what she had said about his personality with women and the way he treated them. And I mean, she didn't sound uncertain or insincere in what she said. Hold on. I had a salad with lemon, so I may be spitting bits of lemon bits. Anyway, they had her go on the show, and it didn't seem. Oh yeah, so her email was not meant to be publicized. That was wrong, you know. But the fact that they, like, she is already wounded by it being public. You know, the relationship between her and her son, I would imagine, would have taken a hit. I imagine he would have had feelings. From what she had been saying, it sounded like she would have had feelings too of regret. Like, oh my God, even though, you know, it was never meant to be publicized. I'm pretty sure. So, how in the world did she get it turned around to where she's on Fox, like, endorsing the thing? The guy, oh my God, it's like such a mind F. And I imagine, I'm not a mother, so I can't say this with like validity, I guess, but I've had a mother. I have been in the presence of mothers, and I have a brain. I can put two and two together. Like, she would never want to publicly wound her child, you know? But she also, like, she didn't even know about this nomination when she wrote this, you know? But what it says is, like, she not, like, there, I hope, while the things are happening between him and women that are so messed up. But I can't also help thinking of Jesse Waters' mom, who, same thing, has her concerned about her child. That, and he's kind of, we've had more exposure to his awful, I guess, Waters, but this guy was married and then took the air out of a woman's tire that he wanted to date because she had not been responding to him. So he took a desperate measure. This is all public, okay? So he does that so he can then swoop in and go, I can give you a ride. I will take you home. And then, you know, I would imagine she sensed that, like, I really want to just go home. Maybe this will be okay. You know, like, I feel like that was her feeling. And then he came all over it. No, sorry. That was a bad choice of words. Man, all of the Freudians are trying to slip right out. But, you know, he came on so hard to her. That is a term. He came on too strong. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, both. Either way, it's too much. It was forced. It was forceful. And so she ends up, you know, with him, dating him. Somehow he charmed her into it. And then he leaves the other wife and is now married to this girl. But the thing about this whole incident is that it's in the public because he, like, brags about it. Gross, what is wrong with you? Like, you Buffalo Billed this woman. That's awful. Oh no, spit out my teeth. That's terrible. You Buffalo Billed her. You don't. Ah! If she didn't get it, and then she saw him like at his job talking about it, like, I'm not a regular watcher of Fox News, and I've seen him do it several different times. He had different clothes on, different background, different show. He just talks about it a lot. Oh my God, I if it were me, I would be so done with that guy. I'd be like, move on to your next victim. But the moms, some of them are like, oh, you know, like the two that I just mentioned, they're like, oh, you really, like, can you do better? The mother that has the publicity campaign going on is Elon Musk's mother. And I saw her on a show. Dang, I forgot to link the thing first. It was in a video by that Chris Norlund guy, Norlund, that I had mentioned in my last video and then forgot to link it. So I actually have it on my clipboard, and I forgot to link it before I started filming, but I can still get it on there before this goes out. It's just a personal thing. Like, come on, dipwit. Do the stuff in the right order. So now it's going to bug me. But anyway, she, I don't know what her first name is, Musk Mama, but she came out with a statement saying, my son is good and he's so smart. And, well, lady, of course you're going to say that. Don't you know that? I mean, that's what I think. But also I think, what in the hell? There has never been a situation in my lifetime where I could think it was ever appropriate to bring in my mama for my defense. Are they not grown men? And I just feel like, here, wait, what did I write about this? There was some specific points I wanted to make about she and him, and Fox News, by the way, scooping her up. That's the publicity campaign, and like basically buffing her profile up, you know, like shining up the shidola. Okay, oh, here it is. Weird seed. Motherly oops. Really? Motherly concern that their heir believes, sorry, let me get it together. Motherly concern that their heir believes they possess the DNA to repopulate the world? You don't see the megalomania in that, Mom? The immigrant that castigates other immigrants for the perception that they emigrated illegally. Mother not concerned that at least two of hers hypocritically did that thing themselves? I don't know, did they all come to the other countries from South Africa illegally? What goes on in that family? My goodness, I don't even know what to think. And, you know, the U.S. government, like, sanctioned that, you know, because they wanted those contracts with Elon for stuff like the satellites thing. I want to say Neuralink, but isn't that like something that they want to do in your head, or is that controlled through a satellite? I want nothing to do with those people, man. And I can't believe that they think that, like, but what is wrong with his mother? The man is like sickness. I'll give you a baby. Well, what I've heard about the way you treat yours, I don't want to give you a baby. And also, I don't want to give you a baby. Ick, 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 ick. You're ick. Business practices, morals, ick. Oof, getting heated. So, Let me go back to my notes and get it together. Whoa, that's upside down. So I will be repeating a little bit of this, but I'll go through it quickly. I'll try to, because I have some cards. So, filming, okay, got that already. Wants to force things on you. I'll get to it. Then they get mad if you don't like them, and if you don't think they're cool. If you don't, then you're their enemy, and they want to come after you. They already went to force you to do what they want. Oh, they already want to force you to do what they want, to buy what they want. It's so easy to fall for it, to fall into it without thinking. When following your heart, what you feel, but in this instance, thinking, most importantly, you need to be thinking. The world is going to fight to stay the same way, to try to always be the way it was. I'm suspicious of our ruling and judicial authorities, not to blanket and suffocate those also trying and succeeding in some cases to uphold a sort of order. They exist, these helpers, and allow me to pay them a tribute of gratitude. It's got to be hard. It's got to be taxing, and I wouldn't blame them a bit if they threw in the towel. The reality seems to be the structure has so weakened. The reality seems to be the structure has so weakened it can't stand in the way it's long been described as the greatest, the land of opportunity and fairness, and blah, blah, blah. Was any of that ever true? Well, not for everybody. Or was it already a less amplified version of what it is today? I mean, was it that way all along? More about the hidden and disguised forces and the people representing them. Is that what it's always been? There are these, however, and from their positions, at a remove from most of us. And that was when I got sidetracked by the weird seed thing, so let me pick up where I left off from there. So the last sentence about the weird seed thing was the mother not concerned that at least two of hers hypocritically had done it, being the illegal immigration themselves? Oh no, of course not, because the U.S. government sanctioned that shit. Disregard what many have struggled to achieve legally the way they claim they want it done. They being like Trump government type people. Or really the right has always been like, do it right and you can come on in, but there's plenty of people that, have been doing that, and they're letting in like Musk because why? Well, he has something to offer that the government wants. Well, why shouldn't he still do it the right way? That's ridiculous. But then we swooped in after World War II and brought in a bunch of Nazis, and that hasn't affected us today at all. We have no problem with Nazi stuff. Anyway, where was I? I was hoping I wouldn't interrupt myself again like that, but I guess I will. So, disregard what many have struggled to achieve because of some space age ideas and all of the dollar signs in their eyes. What a bunch of dreamers who will disregard and now possibly eliminate all those other dreamers who constitutionally deserve to and belong here. They don't deserve, like if they were born here, I'm saying, I guess, because there are some distinctions. But if they were brought here by their parents and the parents came illegally, but they were born here, then constitutionally they are citizens. And now they're trying to change that, and it's like, well, that's got to apply to everybody. like everybody who did it, all of the so-called illegals, or the legals, even they're coming after the legals. They were doing that in Texas. Look that up. Raids on legal Latino citizens. Oh God. Gotta take a breath. That's gonna make me pass out. Don't pant. So anyway, who deserve to, and who does constitutionally deserve to be here, to belong here? I said that. They don't deserve their legal rights and contribution to USA to be disregarded. Those forces rep by Fox at vet/TV personality. Okay, that repped by Fox. And here's where my writing took another turn based on what I was listening to, but I'll explain that here. I don't know why I wrote this anyway, but the forces represented by Fox, and then I guess also in an individual's form, as opposed to a corporate entity. Hold on, I'm gonna choke. The vet/TV personality named Tim Kennedy. So Tim Kennedy appeared in a reality show that was on A&E. I think it was Chasing Hitler, maybe, was the title. With X. I mean, are you ever X? Did he get, like, CIA blooded out? I don't know. From what I've been learning, you kind of are never out of that because of what you have in your head. Anyway, the other person on this show, there were several, but the other person that you would know by name is Robert Ressler. Ressler or Wrestler? What was it? I wrote it down. He's famous anyway. Ben Affleck played him in a movie and got, I believe, an award for it. About maybe the Iraq War or the Afghanistan War, from the U.S. perspective, of course. Robert Ressler, though, I believe is his name. And so, I don't know, on finding Nazis in South America, like, I don't know if he's blooded out or not. I doubt it. Like I said, he knows too much kind of thing. And, like, this show, I feel like he was an instrument of that arm in a way. So, I don't know. On a Finding Nazis in South America show, they outed several people that spoke with them under condition of anonymity. So that sucks, but anyway, this Kennedy guy knows the Las Vegas Trump Tower explosion guy. Okay, that was actually meant to be a question, so that sucks. But anyway, this Kennedy guy knows the Las Vegas Trump Tower explosion guy? How convenient. How convenient they have this personable TV personality guy to... I'll go on. Anyway, this Kennedy guy knows the Las Vegas Trump Tower explosive guy. Question mark. How convenient. How convenient, especially considering he called into question the notes left behind by the guy where he clearly explained himself. He said he was disgusted that the ruling class is fronted by Trump and Musk types. I'm paraphrasing. Backed by more, who mainly stay out of sight. Kennedy, I have someone in mind, and I'm just like debating on whether I should say it because I know this person is one of those ones that will come after you. Kennedy assures the viewers that the statements from a guy he also admitted he hadn't seen for 10 years was unhinged. So he made that determination without see, you're talking to the guy for a decade. That's Sure, that'll stand up in court. uh Oh, and it was uncharacteristic behavior. Well, from when you knew him, sure, but you don't know that guy anymore. The decade's a long time to not talk to someone at all. Like they could have gone through 3 and 4 personality changes based on stuff you know nothing about, and don't judge him. And I will say that subsequent to seeing that and writing this, I've seen that he had other issues going on in his life, like as if those things that were kind of very human and regular things, so not like he wasn't all drugged up and doing wacky druggy, I mean, he just had regular guy problems, and so yeah, like that guy was talking out of his neck, the TV personality guy. If I didn't get that across, that's what I'm saying. So here we go. Damage control and hastily assembled. Shoddy. Exactly what I was talking about. The news and Fox and the most blatant act as arms of the government. A clear example of why there's no reason to trust what's given us on the surface. It's designed. There's no reason to trust what's given us, period. Dang it, where is it? On the surface, it's designed to look that way. Attractive, pleasing, and easily ingested. Not necessarily digested. Don't lose your place again. To appeal to certain susceptible types. There are multiple channels designed to do the same. Not be entirely honest in their presentation. The reason I mentioned Fox is that their... Come on now. Presentation is loudest. The others, and I know it's my bias, feel quieter, more subversive. I do know if your bias leans Foxward, they perceive the left as screaming and loud. So, subjective, I guess. Meanwhile, as most of us get locked into arguing about manufactured crap, mean stuff is going on, some not hidden behind any scenes. So it may be incomprehensible, but it's right in front of our faces. And the incomprehensible being that they're presenting you something that is the inverse of what they're actually saying and meaning. Or meaning, do you understand what I'm saying? What's with the accordion? Anyway, I know what's with the accordion. I can't do anything about it. I should just not look at it. Okay, where is it? Yeah, mean stuff not necessarily behind any scenes. It can be damaging and hurtful to us, but if we're aware of the manipulation and take steps to avoid and deflect it, we are in the act of resisting and changing. I feel like it doesn't matter, like, if you're on the right or on the left. Both sides are seeing cracks in their institutions and inconsistencies, and the sooner they stop seeing it as that being the important thing and more about it being like, wait a minute, but they're lying to me. Like, that's when, like, stuff starts to get interesting, you know? But the reason why I was, like, thinking and writing about that is on the same thing that I was on in my last video, which is it started, I talked about it being mainly about something on Blue Sky where there's conservative people that want to interact, and I would, except for, like, I don't want to, like, mingle with them because they go along with stuff that I think that I just can't go along with myself. So I think that's not, like, spiritually where I want to be. I would like to be able to just be, oh, whatever, I'm friends with everybody, but things are like, there are stakes now, kind of, and who you associate with, it's not just a look, it's also like, what are you agreeing to? What are you also gonna take on? Because when you wear someone else's mantle, that's what you're doing, and that's kind of, I think, my aversion to kind of taking on any kind of mantle. Like, I don't want the things. There's keywords I have an aversion to, like woke. It can come from a lot of different places, but it shouldn't, because it has a definition initially. And that's the one. Like, all of this other stuff that where it's being bent and forced into all these shapes that it is not, like, I don't like that. So but the thing is this is a long game, and you may not remember it, but you may have come here to this earth dimension many times to engage in it in different ways and pursue a sort of agenda, but not like agenda, man. I should get my thesaurus out, because I feel like agenda has definite sort of negative pinnings, just plain pinnings. I feel like when there's an agenda, you're out to harm someone, but I mean it in the sense of a long play of activity that eventually, well, it's always going to go one way or the other, but you want the one where, like, the living of the people continues, and that they're, healthy and happy and as much as possible. And I feel like the whole force element's really got to go. And anyway, in the short term, I feel like I could just do better interacting with these people that I have, and my bias kind of collide with, like, oh, hold on. We run into a place where, like, both of the bulls are stuck at the horns and just can't come to any kind of, what do you call it, like, when you have a marriage and you separate, an amicable separation. That's what I'm trying to say, because it's going to happen over and over because of the nature of the long game. This role playing, this RPG that we're in to, like, save the world, save the planet from us, from the humans. So I had pulled some cards, and I have a few from the Gemstone Whispers deck, and the first one is Tanzanite, and the subtitle in red, which you can see it on there. It's kind of hard to see it, the camera just sees so much better than my eyes, I guess. But it looks better. It's more visible. So yeah, the subtitle is Possibility. Tell me, what do you plan to do with your wild and precious life? I mean, I feel like right now the thing to do is to actually fight for that life that you want to keep. And I am more of a progressive state of mind where I don't want to be where things were. I don't want to go back. I want to keep moving forward. So the next one I pulled was Aquamarine. Very lovely. I'm fond of that blue, turquoise, greeny blue color. I just find it relaxing. But I like to soak in water, like if I'm in a pool or in the ocean, or not soak, but float. Soaking is good too. I mean, that's going to happen if you're in the water. It kind of comes with the territory. But anyway, the subtitle on this one is Expand Connection. The quality of your communication is in the quality of your life. See, I gotta find a way to like be able to like coexist with these people and interact with them in a healthy way. And I've never been. Well, I'm not gonna. That's dumb. I haven't gotten into a lot of online arguments or anywhere about it. Luckily, because I hate arguing. I don't win a lot because it doesn't matter. I don't like to argue. I just like to be right, I guess. But I don't think that's true though. I want to find common ground. I want to agree. That's what I want. I don't want to be right. I want everybody to be happy. I want to agree. That's different. So yeah. I got to work on that. But I got to work on me. That's obviously the thing. So the final card I pulled from this was Emerald. And as you can see, the subtitle is Growth. And it is so funny. When I pulled this, I had, again, the YouTube machine going. And the thing I was watching, as soon as I pulled this card and looked down and saw Growth, the thing I was watching said Growth at the same time. And that happens a lot, like, with the word, like the call and response. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm on the right track here. Little encouragement from the impish angels. And growth. Oh, and the day came when the risk, sorry, they have the writing, the color scheme is making it a little hard to see. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk to blossom. You know, really, it's still on like my thing of being unwilling, just not really wanting to like clash with these people. It doesn't have to be a clash though. That's the thing. I don't have a lot of stuff on any of my timelines about, you know, like I'll say how I feel on the subject, particularly like in this instance, politics. Like I'm definitely on the left, but please don't call me a liberal. I'm not a Democrat anymore because I don't see the point, and I'm not ever going to be a Republican because they've never, not just now, but like ever in the time of my voting, have they said something that I wanted to get behind. So, but it wasn't a thing like it is now where it's like, you're my enemy and I have to like go after you and dox you and, you know, do physical damage and violence and things. Like, no. Like, I can use my words. They're sufficient. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's something to think about, but I already was kind of thinking about it. It's not, I don't think, just a message for me. I think that we allow stupid crap like to get us arguing and fighting with each other, and it's like, that's not the important thing though. That's, they put that there for us to just, oh look, sugar candy, let's go grab it and start attacking each other. It's just my feeling. So I pulled a few other cards from the I never know the name of these things anymore. I use them all the time. Sacred Soul Messages. And the first one is this here. See, it's a little tent. Looks like it's in like a foresty place outside, obviously. And it says, where there is ruin, there is hope for a treasure. So apt, because I know everyone thinks we're headed to ruin. Everything's crashing and down and falling apart. And that's absolutely true. I think that's absolutely true. But it's also part of like the natural process. And the harder it is and the more painful it is, I think is directly proportionate to how we go with the flow or try and fight against it. Like, I just had a I just had a vision of like going with the flow like a body surfer, just smoothly sliding through a wave, and then someone resisting it, and their wetsuit is made of bricks. So I don't know. Like, you don't have to know about surfing to know that bricks and water ain't gonna sail down any wave. They're gonna sink, and they're gonna make the wave crash into it and break it into ugly pieces and ruin the spiral. Wow, what happened there? Ruin the spiral and harsh my vibe. Not into it. I like to hang loose. So the rest of the card says, rough time, good outcome. Everything will work out okay. The tent is interesting to me because it suggests, like, you know, maybe things are going to get kind of rocky and you might need some outdoor craft skills. Not necessarily saying that you'll have to go be outdoors, but there are things that you can learn, like how to make lights that go for a while. You know, like if the lights go out, you know, or if the lights become too expensive to pay for, because, you know, Musk was saying it's going to be some hard times coming for you people, and I have to insert here because it is important that the man's not been elected or appointed to anything in the actual government. He's on a consultant type outside committee thing with Vivek Ramaswamy. So, sorry, I wasn't trying to make up his name. I just forgot what the rest of it was in the middle. But yeah. So, it might be like in your interest to like forego paying for the power bill and use it to pay for something else like food or medicine or something, because you can make light in your home and you can also create small efficient heaters that you can use in your house that won't emit something that will kill you in your sleep if you inhale it, is what I'm saying. So I think that's why this looks so happy and friendly, even though it does just sort of innocently look like, oh, a camping trip. There's things that you can take from the camping trip that will make you happy there as well as in your home. Just saying. So, rough time, good outcome. Everything will work out okay. The next card is this lantern. What was I just talking about? These emit both heat and light, by the way. Depends on how big your place is, you know. Anyway, I know you're tired, but come. This is the way. Renewal. Keep going. The path revealed. So, this makes me think of the Hermit card, with the wizened old sage lighting the way with their lantern. Because, you know, on that card, it does, well, on this card, it's the light in the darkness, and sometimes you need help, and maybe you have the lantern, or you are the lantern, like you're lighting the way for other people when it gets kind of scary, and, you know, all I can say is the time to give up is not on the rope bridge that's falling apart when you're in the middle of it. Like, you gotta just kind of follow the light and, you know, trust that you can get to the end of this crumbling situation. But, you know, in all hope you will get there, and if not, then there's something to be learned from that. Like, too many people on the bridge at one time, too heavy. You know, a loss is not just a loss. You know, it's an exchange, I would say. Like, whomever or whatever you lost in its absence, you're going to fill that with something. So the next card is this here sneaker. It's funny because, you know, maybe I'll link that too. There was a Josh Johnson comedy short. Oh, I shouldn't have written that all over the... That was a bad place. That had a sneaker joke in it that is sort of appropriate to what I've been talking about. So, this one says, when you start to walk the way appear, I'm adding the S, taking steps, beginning again, creating the life you truly want. Well, with everything seeming like it's crumbling, and it kind of is, like, at the very least, our institutions are being shaken hard, you know, like, so hard all the fleas are flying off, you know, like the little parasites are being revealed to the light. And now those people, those hardy souls who go into government and actually, you know, retain the vision they went in there with to help, to serve, instead of going there to dine on the buffet. Of well, just all of the ways that you can cheat and swindle and defraud the government, basically, and the people of this country. Don't act like it's not true. So, but just like in war, you know, once all the shelling stops, then the pieces can be reassembled and, you know, renewed or replaced, whatever needs to happen. But you can't always save the Notre Dame, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, some things are just going to have to go. It is their time. They weren't meant to be eternal institutions. And the good thing about that is you're starting anew, and that's just always good. Well, I mean, overall, it's good. It might not be a good experience for everyone, but especially when things are like, oh, good on time, dying and falling apart, renewal is good. Like, sometimes it's just time. It's good for the health of everybody and everyone. And I just realized I put that thing down in the place where I cut my food, and I hope it wasn't damp. It wasn't. I did clean it, actually. Okay, so, I'm not sure, actually, now that I've stopped. I've kind of gotten all of the stuff I had to say out. I'm not sure what more I have to add, so I hope that was a cohesive enough message, and thank you and good night.